You can't beat Steam. My friend, you're goddamn right.
Who are you?
There are dozens of game launchers and marketplaces available right now. A handful of them exist because they have extremely popular games on them and want to maximize their profit without a middleman. One of them gives away 2 free games every week and
fails.
Just exists and wins. Well, it's actually a lot more complicated than that. Despite the service being old enough to drink in America and suffering from almost every AAA gaming company out there trying to outdo it, Steam still reigns as the ultimate gaming marketplace with 132 million average users each month. But when the service
The
first
undefeatable
launched, it was
king.
nothing like the Steam we know and love today. In
Yeah,
the early
what was that?
2000s, Valve faced a serious problem with their games, which was updating them.
Rest in
It
peace, Team
wasn't the
Fortress.
development of the updates that was the problem. It was getting players to download the updated files that sucked for everybody.
You had to
make
download
sure
it
you could
manually.
play with everybody else, you had to go on Valve servers and download the files from there, which was pretty inconvenient since you couldn't have the update automatically installed for when you get back from work, woke up in the morning, or returned from going outside for the first time in centuries because you were too busy playing Star Wars Knights of the Republic. And on that day, September 12th, 2003, Steam released for the convenience of mostly Counter-Strike players all around the world.
Hey, to be fair, that's all that was needed at the time. I mean, what do you need than the good old Counter-Strike? By the way, is this Condition 0? Because DDoS 2 looks kind of different here. I played 1.6. I played also Condition 0 and Source, but I don't remember this one, so I guess this is like Condition 0.
And the service continued to be used as a spot where people could play Valve's games. And it's not like their games weren't good enough to justify having a separate
Half-Life was
Apple.
insanely
They were
good.
insane for the time.
Yep.
And even if you go back in your
There we
library
go.
and play Half-Life 2 in the modern day, it's still a fun experience because of its physics-based gameplay.
Don't drink the water. They put something in it to make you forget.
Yeah, you could do that.
Watch it, will you?
Ambience, sound.
So, some of you may look at that clip and think that this is kind of funny and outdated, but you need to realize this game was released in 2004, if I remember correctly. I believe Half-Life 1 was released in like 98, and this is night and day difference. This is crazy. People today won't realize how groundbreaking and revolutionary the Source engine was at the time. And by the way, to this day, the Source engine is still extremely relevant. It stood the test of time. The engine is nuts, especially when you look at games such as Portal, which is absolutely groundbreaking and, again, meta-defining for gaming industry.
Soundtrack, Barney, and luscious water reflections. At this point in Valve's
How beautiful
lifespan,
that
they
game
had
was.
already changed the industry.
Half-Life is one of my all-time favorite games, dude. I love this game to death. I've replayed it like 10 times, but oh my god, it's so good.
In
So
ways
good.
nobody could have anticipated. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas has a few different versions of it on the PlayStation 2 because
They had
Rockstar
to
couldn't
sell
just
the
update
discs.
the game through digital distribution, and instead
Yeah.
had to physically re-release the game without anybody knowing. And this happened quite a few times among a bunch of different physical titles. But because of Valve's new creation, which was Steam updating games post-release, it was
Look how crazy that is. I mean, today it might seem normal to some people, but you need to realize this was like 20 years ago. That is crazy. That is crazy. Wow. What the hell? It's so insane.
It was finally
unbelievable
possible through that service. And to this day, Valve keeps their games, even from 20 years ago, up to date, using that feature Steam was made for. I
What do
sure
they have to
wish
update?
other companies would keep their older games up to date instead of just letting them decay under the
Oh,
weight of new
no,
drivers
no,
while
no.
keeping them at an $80 price tag. Aside from my gripes and cries of grief, Steam was flying from the early to late 2000s, getting more games from more publishers all the time, and eventually it became the PC gaming storefront, claiming 75% of digital video game sales in 2013. However,
That's a chunk.
it also
Oh, never
took
mind.
and takes 30% of a game's cut when it gets purchased.
Oh my, that is some nice pack of cash you get there, Steam. Jeez, oh my god, 30%. That is crazy.
So if you pay $90
Hey,
for
get
a
that
video
back,
game,
Gaben.
the developer will only get 63 of those dollars. Now,
Ooh.
it can be debated whether this is good or bad, but one thing's for certain, it's the industry standard. The PlayStation and Xbox digital storefronts take a 30% cut of profits, and so does Nintendo, GameStop, and basically every single service except the Epic Games Store. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Well, they do take your information and sell it to other countries. I think you should mention that. Maybe he will.
The Epic Games launcher has its own problem, and it's that the launcher just isn't very good. Steam is
Also
so
that.
convenient, and I'm not talking about how it has a way bigger game library than Epic. I'm talking about its overlay while playing video games. As somebody with one monitor and a completionist,
Oh my.
Steam offers a fantastic...
Wow, having one monitor in this day and age, I mean, don't get me wrong, I respect it. I still have my old one, that's my second monitor, but whenever I purchased this new one, dude, life completely changed. Like, you gotta have a second monitor as a content creator. Otherwise, you can't really function. I still remember playing Elden Ring and constantly opening the map and minimizing the screen. It was so annoying. Holy.
Variety of digital gadgets that I can access anytime I click Shift and Tab. I can have a website open with every Dreamcatcher location in Red Dead 2 that I check every time I get
I just said it! I literally just said it with Elden Ring. That is crazy. Yeah, I used to do the same thing. It was super annoying still. I mean, just get a second monitor, dude. You need it.
Waypoint. I can manually change what each button on my controller does. I can
Yep.
find a community guide that can help me with an achievement. Steam's
Absolutely.
been around for over 20 years, and in this time, it's built
Oh,
a strong
CS
community
Italy.
that exists
Oh.
to help other people use
I'm pretty
the
sure it's
platform.
Italy at
If
least.
you're having a problem with a game, chances are there's already a few Steam forums on that subject. And if you
Exactly.
don't have anybody to play with, chances are there's a Steam group surrounding the game you want to play. If you don't know whether a game is good or not, Steam reviews have your back. But
That is the most important part. That is quite literally the most important part. The amount of times I have been saved by the Steam reviews is insane. Like from purchasing a bad game. And the most recent example I can give you is literally Civilization 7. So I was about to pre-order Civilization 7 and then I remembered that only morons do that. So I just held and just waited until the game released. When the game released, I immediately rushed into the reviews and I saw the reviews weren't good, and apparently the game is just filled with bugs and glitches right now, and it's barely playable. So it's a good thing I ended up waiting on that game. I'm gonna wait probably a few more years until it's like 80% off and I'm gonna buy everything all at once.
But if you go to the Epic Store to make a purchase and
I
look
love
at what
Civ
people thought
games.
about
It's
the
so fun.
product, the only thing you can check is this vague 1 to 5 star system influenced by what the players thought out
What?
of 5. The problem with this system is that it might work for YouTubers who can elaborate with a whole 8-minute video, but video games are so complex, from level design and storytelling to the controls and optimization, you can't just
Also, you want to hear the opinions of the people that actually play the game and not a YouTuber that make a living off of it.
rank a game from 1 to 5. As someone with well over 100 games on Steam, user reviews have saved my ass multiple times that warn me about certain computer parts that might not work well with the game's engine, or just a dragged out story that loses its touch.
Okay, listen, I can accept everything you said thus far. You were cooking. This video is great. But I will forever defend the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War series. Monolith were a great studio, and when they disassembled and unfortunately they're not working on the Wonder Woman game anymore, I cried. It was so sad. I loved the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games. I love Lord of the Rings in general. It's the best literally trilogy like I've ever seen in my entire life. It's the best movies ever. If you haven't watched the movies, go watch them. If you haven't read the books, go read them. It's insane. And Shadow of War was, I don't want to say a perfect game, but it was so damn good. It was far from perfect, but it was so damn good. The Nemesis system, it's like, mwah. And I felt the story was great. So I'm not really sure what he's talking about. Hey, but you know, maybe I'm a little bit of a fanboy.
Halfway through the game.
Might be a little bit
Game Store
biased.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is rated 4.6 stars out of 5, and Red
What?
Dead Redemption 2 is rated 4.9. I hate to be that
No
guy that's very sure about
way.
his opinion, but I am very sure in my opinion in believing that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is in no way only 0.3 stars worse than Red Dead 2. But how is someone using this service supposed to know that? Because there's nothing to base it on other than what the stars say. Steam also heavily
That is
encourages
crazy.
player customization, which makes playing games through Steam even more worth it. Because if you get a really cool or rare achievement, you can display it on your profile. Or when you get a smexy screenshot, you can slap it on your page. And some games offer exclusive profile picture and background displays that make you want to play for those bonuses. I think it's amazing there's even a user-oriented marketplace, like how in PUBG, if you don't like a shirt you got, chances are another player will, so you can throw it on the marketplace and get a few cents from it. Then you go back to the Epic Games launcher to check on your friend, and there's nothing to that person except a username. But Steam
That's it?
gives everybody a sense of true individuality, which is with
Bro, on Steam you can even see what your friend wishlisted. And you can maybe buy them a gift or such. I have done this for my friends. Like, this is a great feature. So, it's kind of a shame that Epic has this really, really trash UI, holy, and user experience. God damn.
without a doubt great to have, and unlike PlayStation, which makes you pay to change your username, or Nintendo that barely lets you express yourself
You
on
have
the
to...
profile
Whoa, wait, what? Who?
station, which makes you pay to change your username.
PlayStation makes you pay to change your username? That is crazy. I did not know that. That is actually
Or
wild.
Nintendo that barely lets you express yourself on your profile, it's probably the best gaming platform for customization. But even though Steam
100%.
is awesome for consumers, it's clearly not as awesome for developers. So naturally, a lot of AAA studios pulled away from Steam and instead released their games on Epic or even their own launchers. When Ubisoft publicly announced they wouldn't be releasing Tom Clancy's The Division 2 on Steam and would be releasing it on their own launcher in Epic, they claimed, "We entrust Epic to deliver a smooth journey for our fans. From pre-ordering the game and enjoying our beta to the launch." Epic continues to disrupt the video game industry, and their third-party digital distribution model is the latest example, and something Ubisoft wants to support. Electronic Arts for a long time didn't have their games on Steam as well, but that wasn't because of Epic Games being a superior platform. It was because EA wanted to push microtransactions and didn't want Valve taking a 30% cut from while both companies at one point
That was
were
great,
releasing their
Rats.
games on Steam. If you check the store today, you'll find pretty much every single one of their titles up for sale. So
Yeah, I wonder why, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you need to understand that UI and publicity are king. Like, you need them for your game. It's not even a matter of question. You just have to get those things right. I mean, and Steam just gives you that. So yeah, Steam takes 30% cut, which is massive. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that it's not a huge sum of money they're taking from you. But you need to look at what you get in return. You get an insanely good user experience from all the things that he mentioned thus far. And on top of that, you get really good publicity because everyone is on Steam. And if you're in front page, you're gonna get way more exposure that you would have gotten in any other way. So yeah, I mean, I think the 30% cut kind of pays itself off. You even profit off of it, like, for sure. And obviously, these companies agree with me. Otherwise, they wouldn't be publishing all their games right now on Steam.
what the hell happened? Call of Duty Modern Warfare from 2019 didn't release on Steam and instead was up for sale on Blizzard's launcher Battle.net. Modern Warfare 2019 reached $1 billion in sales revenue after 54 days of being out.
Well, to be fair, Battle.net was built in like the early 2000s, right? If I'm not mistaken. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong about this. The Battle.net launcher has clearly some insane amount of time to actually be successful and popular. Also, you had World of Warcraft, which was, drawn so many players during that time to it and to the launcher. So it's kind of different with Battle.net. If you're trying to come up with new thing to rival Steam, I don't think you'll be able to do it. With Battle.net, it's a little bit different because they had time to actually grow.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2022, which was released on Steam, 2, reached the same sales number 10 days after launch.
Damn, that's crazy. Just realized how insane that is. And Battle.net, again, like, Battle.net had time to develop, but Steam just superior.
Ubisoft's newest game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, is, as of March 22nd,
Ubisoft launcher is the most unplayable, unusable piece of garbage I've ever used in my entire life. It is truly pathetic and it should be abolished.
2025, sitting right under CSGO in the top sellers section of the store. And considering Counter-Strike is a free game, that's pretty damn impressive. And for the last 5 years or so, PlayStation exclusives that would never have seen the light of day on PC have been launched on Steam, and Xbox also jumped on that train as well, throwing pretty much every Halo game on PC. The numbers say it all. It doesn't matter if Epic Games takes a 12% cut opposed to 30%, Steam is such a popular platform among consumers that developers will make more money releasing their games on Steam no matter what.
And also, why not release a console game on PC? You're literally just losing people. I don't have a console and I will never have because PC is just, in my opinion, way superior, right? I'm doing everything on my PC. So why in God's name would you not release, let's take for example, Bloodborne? Just give it to me. I want to play it, dude. I just want to play Bloodborne like a normal human being. Oh my god, dude, just give it to me. Please, Sony, for the love of God. I literally bought every single Spider-Man game and I played Red Dead Redemption. Just give me Bloodborne.
Because let's face it, it's, for consumers, an awesome service. The other day I was browsing Steam and I saw a bundle of 4 games that were 25% off if you bought them through a package. Well, 6 years ago I had already purchased 3 of the 4 games individually, but because I hadn't got the 4th game, I could still buy it through that bundle for 25% off, shifting the price from a steep $80 to a much more agreeable $60. This is such an unnecessary but wonderful feature for customers to have. Valve does not need to push discounts this much to be massively successful, but they do just because Steam's that kind of marketplace. Every few months there will be a new huge sale where almost every video game over 4 years of age goes under $40 in Canada, and Valve games usually go for less than $2. And hell, for the anniversary,
literally
they
costs
gave them
nothing
away for free. Steam has even banned games that force players to watch ads before progressing, like a lot of mobile games do. Valve could have easily taken 30% of the ad revenue, but instead they banned the practice altogether.
Yeah, because Gabe is a literal multi-billionaire, okay? He doesn't really care about the money, and he's a true gamer at that. I mean, Gabe Newell is a real one. He kind of resurfaces every 5 years or so to just kind of show people he still exists, but man, is it glorious every time he shows up.
Because of how inconvenient
he truly cares about the gamer.
While Steam certainly takes a sizable chunk out of the developer's pocket when it comes to game sales, I'm happy that out of all the services that could be the top dog, it's Steam. Because Valve is setting a standard of what a marketplace should be. Think about Nintendo that never puts their games on sale and charges a monthly fee if you want to play their older titles, instead of just archiving them in the eShop. Imagine if they were behind the biggest digital game store in the world. It would be way different, because the fact is, the one on top influences everyone else. Fortnite didn't invent the Battle Pass, but it sure as hell wasn't a coincidence that after Fortnite implemented the seasonal leveling system, a lot of other games added their own, including massive companies like Rockstar with the Outlaw Pass and Red Dead Online. Xbox Live launched in 2002, offering an online multiplayer console experience if you paid $50 a year, and prior to this, online gaming on PC at least was completely free, and thank God it still is, because now PlayStation and Nintendo also capitalized big time on paid multiplayer because of Xbox's influence in the early 2000s. It's like Valve has given every opportunity to monetize their products to the brim like every other gaming company is doing right now, but they don't, which allows them to stand out in the corporate world. It also helps that Valve's hiring process is very unique in that they don't offer internships or junior positions.
Still love doing
they
this.
Exclusively hire professionals in their field, so the employees can take charge of whatever they're best at. So there's a reason why Half-Life stood out when it came to physics in the early 2000s, because the game was made by computer wizards who knew everything they needed to create an authentic physics-based shooter. Steam is run by marketing professionals who do what they believe is best based on pure experience. Unlike most companies, Valve has no pressure from shareholders, meaning there's no external investments going into Steam, their video games, or hardware. It's all entirely in-house, and the only people who get stock options for Valve are the employees themselves, which gives each member a small piece of the company. So naturally, every single one of them wants the company to be at its best all the time. The fact is, when you treat your employees well and give them the creative freedom they deserve, whatever your company puts out is going to be amazing, and Valve is living proof of that. My favorite example of Valve as a company standing out in the game industry was in 2004 when Eric Wolpaw was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. With something that bad, he thought he'd have to leave the company, so he spoke with the CEO of Valve, Gabe Newell, about it. Not only did Gabe give him paid leave, but he also left him his spot in the company on the condition that he takes the time he needs to recover. To quote what Gabe said to him himself, "Your job is to get better. That is your job description at Valve. So go home to your wife and come back.
We love you, Gabe.
Better." This kind of generosity in the corporate world, especially from businesses that are self-funded, is extremely rare. And after recovering from his sickness, he worked as the head writer for Portal 2, which, as we all know, was a massive success.
Insanely good game.
Sorry, this video is about Steam. With a platform like Steam, with over 100 million people using it every month, like I said at the start of the video, you'd think the customer service would be pretty lackluster because of the amount of traffic the employees would be dealing with. Which, by the way, in total is between 300 to 500 people, and roughly only 70 of those people are in the Steam department. Most people, including myself, have had overwhelmingly positive experiences with Steam support. Refunds are easy, bug reports get taken seriously.
Extremely easy. Refunds, man, I completely forgot to talk about it, so it's great that it mentioned it. The refund policy in Steam is just mwah. The amount of time I actually went over the refund policy and still got refund is insane. So I believe the refund policy is you can't play more than 2 hours on the game, and it has to be within 14 days from the moment of purchase. The amount of times I haven't played for 2 hours, but I extended over the 14 days period, like the 2 weeks period, and still got refunded is insane. They're so generous. They are so generous. And there were also games where I extended over 2 hours of game time, and yeah, I still got refunded. So they're great. I don't think I've been ever refused a refund. They're truly amazing.
And I even had a friend whose account got hacked.
And by the way, some games they refund no matter what, like Cyberpunk. When they lied and the game was completely unplayable on release, they just refunded it to everybody. So that is a massive W from Valve.
once, and in 2 hours he had his account back with no other issues. Steam can't be beat because it's a staple of what a digital market should be, and if Valve continues to run with their current values in business, I'm sure that Steam will continue to set an example and keep the industry from diving into a complete anti-consumer market like all these other companies seem to be catering towards. But what do you guys think about all this? Do you like Steam? Do you hate Steam? Let me know in the comments below and I'll check them out as soon as I possibly can. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video.
Well, it's a great
Make
video.
sure to have a good one.
This was such a great video, my guy. I'm so surprised. This guy is kind of, he's not really a small content creator, but I think it's kind of is a smaller content creator. He has like 37k subs. I have no idea how. This was such a quality video. This video was amazing. I definitely subscribe to him. Gonna watch way more videos when he published them. Yeah, this guy's great. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you guys can give him a watch and a like for yourself. And yeah, what a great video. I pretty much said everything I had to say. I will say that it's kind of scary that Steam has all that market share for itself, because it can potentially in the future be corrupted. Gabe's not gonna be there forever. And man, if that day ever comes, it's gonna be the apocalypse of gaming. It's gonna be horrendous. But let's just pray that the status quo will remain, because right now Steam is truly a blessing for the gaming world. But yeah, that's pretty much all for now. So once again, make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.